Okay, I guess it's about time to me give either a weekly or bi-weekly update concerning just weights, honest weights and measures. Things of value. All right. We know, considering what everything has gone on here in the last few years, I see that the powers that be who are controlling this market and everything is doing everything they can to flush as many people as they can out of understanding what tangible, hard assets money really truly is. This is a 10-ounce bar right here. And this is a 10-ounce Pan American bar right here. And this is a 10-ounce Engelhard bar right here. This is 30 ounces of silver. Or real money, cassette. Now, when you look at debt, liabilities, the valuing of the dollar and commodities continually keep falling and stuff, we see that right now gold over the last year has been running parallel simply because of the central bank manipulation. And it's amazing. Like never before, we have countries buying gold and buying silver, literally flying it off the shelves. I was looking at Capital Account here just a minute ago, and they had a guy that was over in London, and they were showing all the gold. It was like, it was tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of gold. It was like $380 billion worth of gold, probably somewhere along, probably maybe even more than that. And of course, the first thing we start thinking in ourselves is, they show the gold in London. I want you to listen to me real carefully. Listen to me real carefully. See, this is the reason why it's important for you to understand and know how these people think, how this system, this Babylonian system that we're in today is running, and how it's actually really truly functioning. Listen to me real close. A few weeks ago, I made a couple of videos. And in that, I was explaining the structure of the world and the way things are functioning, the way they're moving today. You see, we are thinking in terms of nationalism, i.e., we are an American nation, then you have the Chinese nation, then you have the European nation or England, and then you have an African and a Canadian nation. That's how we think. That's how we have been conditioned and trained to think by the powers that be. But when you look at the system, listen to me real good if you can, because I know that it's becoming increasingly difficult today just to get people to even listen to you nowadays. England, London is the place where they store the superpower of the European nations' wealth at. England is. Are y'all listening to me? Don't think of it as just one country. No. You notice all of these people are allies. All they done was just make big providences. That's all that they are. That's all. The United States of America is nothing but a big providence and an offshoot of England. England is a big offshoot and providence of Rome. You've got to see this thing for what it really truly is. Once you see this, then you begin to understand. So that's why they can get on there and show you all this gold that is stored in the vault. Over in England, I promise you one thing, they won't do that here in America at the Federal Reserve. I guarantee you'll never see anybody going in there showing you the gold that is actually so-called stored in the Federal Reserve. You know why? Because this Babylonian Roman system that we're in, they store their wealth in London. The Pentagon, Washington, D.C., is the military power and the military might of this machine. Do y'all understand that? That's what this is. And then when you go back to overseas, you're dealing with the religious might of this machine, which is actually spearheaded under the auspice of Christianity, which is the religion of Rome or the Roman Catholic Church. So you can't run an empire. You can't run a society without having your economics in place, your money system, your war machine or your armies in place. You got to have a military might now, and definitely religious, because empires use religion as a tool to control the masses of the people to keep them in place, or at least what they think it is. And then they set up their laws and regulations. So now you have to understand that when they bought in this so-called fiat currency money system, and they took us off the gold and silver system, you know, real money, real true tangible assets. When they took us off this right here through deceit, hoodwink, and everything else you can think of under the sun, the people were unsuspecting minds. They didn't realize that they were getting jacked, that they were actually being had. Because you think about this for a second today. You think about it for a second today. Here I go with another one of my examples again. Okay? Now, watch this. Right here in my hand, I have two pieces of trash that actually the value of it is good for buying toilet paper. That's about all it is. More toilet paper goods and service. Now listen to me. 3 years ago, you could have bought this 10 ounce silver bar right here for less than $200. Now, let's go type this in here real quick. Let's go type this in. Let me pull up this website here real quick. I want to show you something. Of course, you can go there yourself. Let's see what it says. I should have done this probably way before the video, so I could have conserved time. But I'm sure that you'll just deal with me for a second. All right. Now, all right. Today is at, look like it's at about like $33 an ounce. Okay. So let's go silver. Okay. I'm back. So right now you can get a little under $400 now is what this bar will cost you. You see how you have already would have doubled your investment if you had bought this thing right here 3 years ago. You could have spent just $200 for this. Now, I mean, there's not another commodity, there's not another stock, bond, IRA, mutual fund performing like this. Now watch this. Right now, according to last statistics, this silver right here is trading at, compared to gold, at a 53-to-1 ratio. 53-to-1 ratio. That means this is still cheap. The reason why it's still cheap is because when you think about $30, you think $30 compared to $20 to $10 and stuff. But you look at $30, your purchasing power, being able to obtain goods and services, has diminished greatly in the last 3 years. And so you still basically are buying the same amount of silver with less. Your dollars are worth less. So at 53-to-1 right now, you think about this. Historically, you know, the rate that the gold to silver ratio is supposed to be at a 16-to-1. 16-to-1. Now, again, if you put gold at $3,000 an ounce, trading at the historical rate of value of 16-to-1, that means silver would be about $200 an ounce. Now, notice I said $200 an ounce. Now, you think about all of us who have exercised patience in the midst of this roller coaster ride because of all the market manipulation, all the law breaking, the lawsuits, the CFTC knuckle dragging and carrying on, don't want to sue anybody because, you know, when one person gets thrown under the bus, they all get thrown under the bus and the whole house of cards come crumbling down, which it is going to. It's in a matter of time. But those of us who have exercised patience, right now we understand this is the buying opportunity again of a lifetime. So you think about this, that 3 years ago, and let's go maybe 3-4 more years in the future now. 3 years ago, I bought this for what? 2 of these worthless piece of trash. All right. And then we're sitting up here and paid $200 for this. That means if it historically trades at a rate of 16-to-1 to gold like it should be, especially for the inflation adjusted price, you think about this. That means this 10-ounce bar one day is going to be worth $2,000. If I told you, if you'd have gave me $200 and I'd gave you this silver bar, because this silver bar is going to be worth $2,000, you'd probably say, nah, I'll keep my $200. 5-6 years later, 6 years later, this thing is going to be worth $2,000. And if I'd have came up to you and said, I'll tell you what, you give me $200, I'll give you this, you'd have been glad to do it. But you know what? You should have had the presence and awareness to being able to look out and see the foreseeable future, to see what's going on, to see that the fundamentals hadn't changed one bit. And you hadn't. But there's not another metal, nothing is gonna outperform silver. Nothing. Nothing is going to outperform these little bars right here. Nothing whatsoever at all. best investment, especially for a poor man like me, because I can't afford to be going out dropping $2,000 on 1 ounce of gold when I know that this is going to outperform gold. It's just a historical fact. It's just knowing the way money does. So we've been oppressed by a very wicked, jacked up system, a system of lies and corruption. But hey, it's all coming down. It's all coming down. I hope I've been able to some way, somehow to bring some type of form of education and help to your mind. And I hope that you would go out and anytime you get an opportunity and you have any of these Federal Reserve notes. Matter of fact, they even got to the point that they're making it small. On this one, it says Federal Reserve note right up here in the corner. Look, Federal Reserve note used to be big right across the top. Now it's a little bit bigger on a $10 bill, Federal Reserve note up at the top. But I tell you what, hey, bottom line is, this is only backed up by the word of United States of America, which ain't worth nothing. Real, hard, true, tangible assets. This is a good investment right here. You imagine how much land you could probably purchase if you just start investing in some of these things right now. Now it's going to cost you $400 for this 10-ounce bar. They keep going up and the dollar keeps falling.